free-form method, so I don't have a lot of hair days, to be honest. So today is definitely needed. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna wash first, and then um, we'll go outside and do some mending. Because there are some pieces that are getting thin, and I want them to be able to make sure that they're fortified. I don't want them thin. Then we'll go outside and do those and talk. I'm gonna add in pieces to the pieces that are thin. Just waiting for the water to get a little warm. Get to a more warm. Okay. If anybody has dreadlocks, I'm not quite free-form because I do split them apart. So that's what I'm doing now, splitting them apart. And I'm very tender-headed, so it definitely is not the most comfortable feeling. Split them apart. But for me, it is necessary because I don't want them clumped together. The top I do better about splitting them apart, to be honest. Because I think I just kind of do that on a regular basis. Oh, okay. They feel so heavy. They're pretty heavy. This is we're going into year 3. My hair grows really fast, and I do have some on the very ends, which I'll show you guys in a second. On the very ends, the part that's straight are extensions. But that's it. The rest of it came from my scalp. Um, I've had dreads since I was. And let me also tell people one more thing too while I talk. Don't try to correct me. If I call them dreads, if I call them locks, stay on my head. Call yours what you want to call them. But please, this is not the page for you to try to correct me. I'm not that person. Welcome. Welcome. Oh, we just live in a world where everybody wants to tell everybody what they should do. And I'm not for it. Unless somebody paid you, I get paid to recommend things for people. But if I'm not paid, if I'm not consulted, if I'm not contracted out, I keep my opinions to myself. Now this shampoo, I do want to show you guys this shampoo. I learned about this. I'm a licensed cosmetologist as well in 2 states, in the state of Texas and the state of Kansas. 1,500 hours, 10 months to complete. And I worked at, when you first come out of school, you work at like little, a lot of people, not everybody, I did. I worked at like I don't remember, Pro Cut. Pro Cut was the name of it. Little cutting places. So I like cutting men's hair, particularly white men. I love cutting their hair. It's very easy. Anyway, and this white man, he took a liking to me, and he was like, I was bald once upon a time. My mom and my wife found a recipe to regrow their hair in better homes and gardens. She made it, and my hair grew back. But one of the ingredients that he said that was in it was jalapeno, and I never forgot that. Well, I found this shampoo, and let me tell you, it does have jalapenos in it. It's gonna tingle. You don't want it in your eye. It's gonna hurt even differently than like shampoo in your eye because it's spicy. And I do think that it helps with my hair growth. But you absolutely want to make sure. I had to put my arms down, y'all. They're tired. Yesterday I lifted at the gym and I increased my weight. So my arms feel like jello. They are so tired today. And I picked today to watch this damn video. Uh, but it felt good to increase my weight. So my upper body strength is very weak. My core is pretty strong. My legs used to be pretty strong, but they have weakened over the years. But we're back. I enjoy lifting. It is a fun little hobby. I'm only going to do one shampoo today because I don't use a lot. I don't use any product on my hair. And that's like other than shampoo and conditioner. Adjacent semi three-form. I saw a young lady say it was a semi three-form, and I like that because I split them apart. I don't want them to go together. It just works because my arms are tired. They are so sore. Okay, so this is my second two-in-one. I do the regular shampoo. I do the two-in-one next because I like the smell. I love this smell. I'm really not into showing all these products because I don't think they're special. The one that I showed you, the jalapeno one, I think is special. I got it home in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is my United States home. So I got it while I was in Vegas. And I can't remember if it was Walgreens or CVS, but it was on sale. So I definitely grabbed it. Oh, my hot water is running out. That's okay though. Since moving here, I've learned how to adjust for colder showers. I don't mind it all. It's so hot here. A cold shower oftentimes is what you need. Whew. Okay, rest my hand. Hold on. My arm. This is my arms. Okay. This 7 locks I've had, I'm going into my third year. Yeah. Okay, now conditioner. And I dropped the conditioner bottle. That's why the pump doesn't work anymore. It was my fault. It was my fault. Hot water gone. But it still feels really good. It's not ice cold. The water doesn't ever come out ice cold here. So a cold shower is almost lukewarm. A little bit less than lukewarm. So the water doesn't even come out the faucet cold. I did a quick Google search yesterday. I was born in Kansas. My mom still lives in Kansas. So I did a quick Google search to see. I live in Puerto Vallarta, and I did a quick little Google search to see how many miles I was away from Kansas City. It said I was like 1,700 miles away. Damn. Then I looked and saw how many miles I was away from the equator. It said you're only 1,400 miles away from the equator. So just the thought of thinking that I'm closer to the equator than I am my own mom, that's hilarious. Oh, guys, my arms are tired. Whew. And they are heavy. Heavy, 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 heavy. You are so heavy on me. Yeah, heavy, heavy. You are so heavy on me. Woo. Does anybody else sing in the shower? I don't usually sing in the shower. But I definitely am that person that if you said the right word and I know the song, I'm gonna sing it. Okay. Oh, all right, everybody. I've done the best I can do. The arms are tired. Ooh. Y'all don't know. My arms. You know, the first day back in the gym. Now, this wasn't my first day back, but it's just my first day increasing my weights. And you know, you don't really feel it the day you do it, but the next day, because I'm losing weight a lot faster this time, which you guys can go back to my videos and kind of see what I'm doing. I'm definitely being transparent. No weight loss surgery, no Ozempic, none of that. Tackling mental health has helped me to get my weight under control. Okay, now we're gonna go downstairs and to the patio because I want to fill in any parts where my locks are thin. Whew. Can everybody hear me okay? You guys let me know. All right, bye bathroom. I'm gonna put a little oil on my feet because everywhere else it's so humid here. The humidity is great. So it's really nice for my, in fact, I'm gonna put some socks on too. The humidity is super nice on my skin here. But the feet, they still need a little extra attention. Okay. Give me 1 second, everybody. I know I'm out of the frame, but I'm with you. I'm just putting on, I don't know how to say socks, but I will learn. I will learn. Alrighty. Much better. And now we're gonna head outside. I got some supplies. Guys ready? Let's get it. On, and sometimes they're on top of buildings. And I don't know what everybody can see anymore. I used to have this private balcony and I could move about freely. But until the construction is done, we're going to be safe. Okay. Under my buns. I promise it did. They just took a lot. My little arms are happy to be down. And you guys know, you may see you won't see it. I don't have the camera pointed up to it. But we have an iguana that like lives in the neighborhood. Whew. All right. Can everybody hear me okay? You guys let me know if you can hear me. Oh, and I'm going to, if I have enough time and patience, if I have enough time and patience, I'm gonna put some more jewels in my hair too. I have a hand and I have two knives. So if I have the patience today. So you guys, I wanted to talk about something. Um, it's a topic, and this is not a dating necessarily topic, but I can understand how people may link this into it, but it's not about that because I don't date. Um, but it's more about understanding how I move and why I move the way that I move. I've been doing a lot of investigation and exploration with myself, my inner self, and really understanding me. And my mom, I'm tell you guys about my mom. My mom is fantastic. Okay, this is the reason why I came outside to do this because it can get messy. My mom is one of the most fantastic, if not the most fantastic human being that exists, in my opinion. She's one of the most, if not the most, fantastic human. Why? It's the way she moves is fantastic. The way she jumps in for people, the way she takes care, the way she's so thoughtful. She is never defeated. Um, Growing up, I had a mother that would go and get education, like go get extra education. When my mom came from the country, she was born and raised in the country and of Arkansas. And if you're a person from the United States, you probably got some family in the country, so you know what I mean. Backwoods kind of country. They didn't have a lot of stuff. It wasn't like they were poor. They just didn't have a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of stuff, of course, wasn't even like designed yet when she was younger. So they had a television, and she was kind of like looking at the big city and the world through a television and couldn't wait to get out, to get into the city, right? To get out into the world, into it. Anyway, and my mom is just, she's brilliant. She's brilliant. And anyway, so she gave 25 years to Procter and Gamble. And when my mom retired, she retired a microbiologist. That's important because my mom didn't go to college. Yet my mom worked for a Fortune 50 company. I don't think Procter and Gamble might be, if Procter and Gamble isn't a Fortune 50, it's a Fortune 100. My mom, the one from the country, the one who did not have a college degree, is next to people with doctorate degrees, right next to them. And you couldn't, there was just no way you could deny her brilliance. She knew her stuff. She was self-taught, but she was always so independent like that. Um, she just was always very self-sufficient, and that was very much taught to my sister and I. My sister is very brilliant as well. She's more academically brilliant. Um, and I got my mom's creativity for sure, hands down. Like the creative gene, I was the kid that always liked to like do pottery and crochet, and I haven't used the three prong one before. It's gonna take some getting used to.
but I couldn't find my tube. I have it somewhere, but I just couldn't find it. Anyway, it'll work. Um, so my mom, my sister and I are kind of like observing my mom, right, with her fantastic self and observing how she is. And I noticed something that my mom is so independent. My dad passed away in 2011, so she's by herself in essence, but she still gets shit done. She went and bought herself a truck. She doesn't have to ask anybody if they can like help her with anything. My mama gets shit done. She doesn't wait on anybody. She doesn't wait on a man. If she asks, if she'll ask. If she asks a man to do something and they take too long, she gonna go ask somebody else. Like my mama just gets shit done. And I love that about her. I love watching that about her. And I think in my older age, I'm starting to appreciate that even more because I didn't know that I would be 42 and unmarried. I didn't know that. I think as I got older, I knew that I probably did not want to be married. But when I was a kiddo, listening to the in church and stuff, they kind of just talked about if that was just going to happen. Like you're just going to get married, somebody, a church boy is going to find you, and you're going to make a family, and this is how it's going to look, right? This is how I thought it was going to be, but nevertheless, I'm not upset that that's not how it was. Because, like I said, as I got older, I realized I don't think this is for me. Um, but I also know that I inherited some behaviors from my mom that are incredibly independent. And again, like I said, this is not to be a dating situation. If you hear this and this helps you in dating, that's good. Because I can see how this would help you in dating. But women, I hear men talk about women becoming so masculine. And when I'm looking at it, I'm looking like, well, what do you want her to do? You want her to be like dumb and docile and not be able to do like, especially if who you're looking at, your woman who you're trying to marry is like over 30. Don't you want her to have something? Don't you want her to come not necessarily with something, but like show that she's not a dummy, right? Don't you want to marry somebody who's not a dummy? Don't you want to marry somebody that knows how to keep a roof over their head? Don't you want to marry somebody that knows how to manage a home? Because I mean, I don't think there's a problem with housewives. I don't think there's a problem with traditional wives at all. That's a skill, right? And believe it or not, that's masculine. Anything that you're managing and you're managing others, that's masculine energy. And so I don't think that a lot of people know what masculine energy is. I think a lot of people, when they say it, they just assume it's like taking on the persona or the characteristics of a man. But that's not masculine energy at all. Everybody has masculine energy in them because that's what helps you to order yourself. That's what helps you to survive in this world. If you did not have masculine energy in you, you'd be homeless. You wouldn't have food to eat. You wouldn't be able to like survive, and you wouldn't have clothes on your back. You wouldn't be able to hold down a job if you didn't have masculine energy. Like everybody's got to have it, right? But I look at something that my mom does, and actually my sister brought it up this morning. They're out shopping because we love to shop. The women in my family, me, my mom, my sister, baby, we love to spend some money, okay? We love to. I don't love to make the money. They like to work, not me. I'm not a worker. Mm-mm. I am not a worker. My aunties laugh at me. They be like, girl, what do you, hey, I don't have to ask y'all for nothing. I get shit done, though. Now, that's what I am like my mom. I get shit done. But I'm in work and labor. No. But I created a life because of our masculine energy where I don't have to work like that. I don't have to labor because I didn't want to. So I knew how to do it. I know how to organize. I know how to structure. I know how to make plans. I know how to execute plans. I know how to stay disciplined. I know how to stay diligent. So my masculine energy helps me to create a life where I don't have to fucking report to anybody. I haven't worked for anybody in over 13 years, maybe more. Yeah. So anyway, we were looking at something that my mom did this morning. And this morning, they're out shopping and they bought something big. And I told you my mama bought a truck because she didn't want to have to, depend on nobody when she needed to go shopping and she needed somebody to pick up something big for her. She didn't want to have to wait on nobody, right? So she's like, I'm gonna get my own truck. I'm like, yes, mom, get your own truck. That's great. So there are men out there trying to put the stuff on top of the truck for her, and she's outside telling the men how to do it. And I'm like, ding, 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 ding. So now I'm thinking about myself, like, do you do that, Kelly? Do you do that? Because let me tell you, while I'm not dating at all, I'm still very um, mindful to let men be men. And I wanted to just bring that up. So if it resonates with anybody, like if you're the type of woman that you ask somebody to do something, like you ask a man to do something, and you're going to stand there and tell him how to do it, I can see that why that would piss him off. Because if you're going to tell me, like my strong suit is nurturing, that's what I do for get a chance to use my gifting to care about people. I'm very nurturing. That's just I'm really good at it. Super good at it. My daddy was really nurturing. He was not the typical um, alpha male, rah rah dogmatic. That was not my dad. His energy was so gentle and so mild and so um, caring and nurturing and soft and always concerned with people. Oh my God, so concerned with people. And my mom had a really good match because my mom is very concerned with people too. But anyway, if you're that type of woman that when you ask a man to do something, you're looking at how he's doing it, and maybe you're going to tell him he didn't do it the right way. Now, I'm not talking about if he takes his time to do it. I don't like that shit. If I ask you to do something, don't be slowful. Because if you ask me to do something, you wouldn't want me to be slowful. You address what I ask you to do in a timely manner, as you would want me to work and be in a timely manner for you. But you can't sit there and tell him how to do it and dictate how to do it. Let that man do it. And I can see why that would piss some men off, because that would piss me off. If you ask me to cook you something, you can't even really cook, but you ask me to cook because I can cook. And you try to stand over me telling me I like a little extra salt in mine. You gonna taste it the way I make it first before you tell me anything. Like, hold up, let me do this first. You want to put some extra? Wait till I make it, okay? Well, you be trying to tell me how your mama did it. I don't give a damn how your mama did it. It's how I do it, right? And if you want to do it like your mama do it, then you should do it. But you can't do it. You asked me to do it, so let me do it, right? But I can see that being a nuisance for men if being asked to do something and a woman is standing there telling you how to do it. I don't like this. I don't like that. So anyway, I wanted to just share that because I said it to my best friend and she says, because I said the words. So my mom is a baby boomer, right? She was born in 1949. Now I was born in '83. My mom had me at her older age. She was 34 when she had me. My dad was 42, my age, and so and then there's a 10-year age gap between me and the eldest. So we got a little distance in between us, and so I got a chance to see. I'm looking for that iguana because I don't want to sneak up on me. I don't have no problem with it. Just don't sneak up on me. Um, I'm being careful because I don't want to stab my fingers. I stabbed my fingers the last time. Woo! And I didn't like it. It was horrible. Um, but I got a chance to watch some of the how my mom moved, right? Women of my mom's era, they were fighting a different fight. They were fighting. So my mom's dad, um, he was a Rolling Stone. Okay. And my grandma and grandpa were married. And when he would get in trouble with the law legally, he would be in jail and he would leave my grandmother with 4 and 5 and 6 kids at a time. She ended up having 14. My grandmother had 12. And she was a diligent wife. She was a dutiful wife. She was a strong woman, stronger than me, right? Because I don't think women, and okay, let me finish what I'm saying. She was a strong woman because she had to be. She didn't have any other choice. She wasn't educated by any means. I don't even know if my grandmother finished. She couldn't work because at the time it was illegal for women to work. My grandmother was born in 1917, maybe. So it was illegal for women to work. It wasn't legal. And she couldn't have a bank account. She couldn't vote. So she needed her husband of old and their grandmas and stuff. Your grandmas weren't happy. Your grandmas were there for survival. Sad. Like if you loved your grandma, if you really loved your grandma, you would not be celebrating that she was there, because the true truth is that your grandma's kept a lot of heinous behavior that dads inherited, and then that your dads either showed you or they disappeared and didn't show you things, the type of but the stuff she had done to her and so I understand why my mom was so into education. I understand why man I've ever known. I think that's another reason why I don't mind that I'm not getting married, is because a lot of women never experienced love, right? They never experienced unconditional love. Well, I grew up with it. And so I Valentine's Day so much. And I've been single most Valentine's Day. Like I think I'm 42, two Valentine's Day where I've ever been with a person. Because I didn't need that. Like so part of my family. Maybe emotionally, but it wasn't on purpose. My part of my family. Maybe emotionally, but it wasn't on purpose. Like I said, my mom was getting her education, baby, and I don't. Was getting her education, baby, and I don't feel no kind of way. Because of my mother, I'm able to live the life that I have right now. Because of my mother showing me that, and because of that, I'm able to live internationally. I'm able can find that. That's where I was going with that. But I also know again, she had that. My mama didn't know again. She had that. My mama didn't have that, but she saw. And just like you guys, when you see things grow, part of that determination that my mom had, and that whole like standing on your own to drive. She's like, what do you mean? That was when I realized, oh, my mom, I had the older parent. I grew up with a sick parent. And so my dad was sick most of my childhood. When I was in middle school, my dad was going to be hospitalized like, I don't know how many times a year, but he was definitely going to be, he was definitely having way too many hospital visits for a teenager. He was definitely having way too many hospital visits for a teenager. And it was he had high blood pressure and diabetes he had high blood pressure and diabetes that was just kind of out of control. I'm supposed to be the man. He needed to work. My dad worked up until damn near his dying day, uh, because that was a part of his manhood. Like he didn't feel like a man if he wasn't working. He didn't feel really great insight on men and women. I have a different insight on men and women. Unless you were like people that were like raised with their grandparents, I think I have a more eye view of people that were raised with their grandparents. But instead of being my grandparents, these were my parents. So they still had a lot of juice in them. Like my mama would, we were just good kids. I'll say this too. We didn't get in trouble. None of us have ever had any dealings with the law. I'm too pretty to go to jail, y'all. Mom had rules. She had structure, but she didn't have to be so overbearing because we wasn't gonna do with no wild shit anyway. He never hit us. He never touched us. He never laid a hand, especially on the girl. And we didn't want forward. I was the one that went out and did things a little bit different. Funny. Uh, it's funny because I don't put a location in here and it automatically puts me, which of course I live in Mexico, but None of my US crowd audience gets in the algorithm because it puts me in where my location is on my phone. I just think that's funny. Because I see people talking, but I don't, it would take me a while to know what you're, but I love you. And I appreciate y'all coming on here. Can y'all hear the music behind me? The weekends here sound so fun, sound so happy and festive. Anyway, my dad, very gentle. My mom, very go get shit done. And I realized that because of the way she grew up, because of the times she grew up in, I realized how I used to be that way. I'm not that way anymore. I realized that men need to be put to work. Men need to work. Men value me. Again, I'm not trying to date. This is not dating advice. This is just overall. Like, I think if you have sons, what I'm saying up, no, you know how underwear out of their crevices. I didn't know what that was for, but imagine a little boy never seeing that, right? But then imagine a little boy that sees that all the time. So now he knows the different rules and different advice and different things. They need to see that stuff modeled and that's exactly why, because they didn't have men modeling behaviors to them. Anyway, so anyway, so to do with dating. I just to do with dating. I just I really like resting in my feminine energy, and I've noticed that when I do rest in my feminine for a little bit, I can. But that sounds. I bet I don't. I do not like the saying, y'all. Uh, uh, um. But anyway, I just look at. I like to organize. But anyway, I just look at. I like to organize. Like if I know that this is how I want to live, I know that I have to have dating, and that's what you want to do, and that's what you want to do. Okay, I thought somebody was flying. It was my hair. Okay, I thought somebody was flying. It was my hair. If you're dating, to do amazing, amazing. If a man here sees you having a problem, if he just sees, they're gonna stop. They're gonna always ask you, "Do you need some help?" I think that's just the culture. They're gonna stop. They're gonna always ask you, "Do you need some help?" I think that's just the culture. Women jobs and men jobs. They don't have that. They don't have that. Like at the gas station, there are women pumping gas because we don't pump our gas here. You just pull up to the gas station and the attendant does it for you. But there are women doing that job as well as men doing the job. So it's not that. It's just it's just being helpful. It's just being kind. It's just they see a damsel in distress, and that's me. I'm the damsel, and I be in distress, and I need you. In distress, and that's me. I'm the damsel, and I be in distress, and I need you. And I ain't gonna tell you how to do it. And you know what I do? I'm not gonna lie. One man came and helped me with my battery in my car, and I was so appreciative of him. He said, "These are very good." He says, "They're definitely seasoned." Yep. So yeah, and if you have boys, like, be mindful of that. Like, don't always tell the boys what to do. Let them figure it out. Let them make mistakes. I was to finish my thought. I don't think I finished it earlier. With sons, like so many men nowadays are afraid of rejection. Make a mistake. You're just not bad with boys. This whole mama bear thing is bad with boys. Your mama bear thing, she's too feminine for me. As a man, as a leader, did not see the girl. She's not the one for you. If she had to make herself seen in your face, that's thirst. That's she's now the masculine. That's she's now the masculine. She's now the hunter. And most likely in a relationship, she's now the hunter. And most likely in a relationship, y'all gonna have a power. A man that says, "Well, you grandma and his aunties, get away from that." You don't want a man like that. A man like that will. You don't want a man like that. A man like that will run and knock for you to make fine he is. I don't care. Y'all got to know that most of these men that go out to climb he is. I don't care. Y'all got to know that most of these men that go out to clubs and they dress, they from the streets. Most of the men that is dressed a certain type of way, and you think not approval about people. The fuck? Approve this check. care about what I got on. The fuck? Now, don't get me wrong. Y'all met when you out in the streets. Dated. And when you're in your 30s, when you get into your 40s, you realize your 30s was just your second 20s. You don't know anything. It's just your second set of 20s. Enjoy. You're still at the bottom. Mine was the house my mama still lives in, the telephone number that my mama had, that we had, all three of us, my brother and my sister, never knew that. Now, religious shit, I definitely can tell you about religious kids. You're not gonna be mean to these kids because these mine, and I'll deal with it. My mama was that type of woman. Like nobody could spank us, but her. She did. Don't get me wrong. Now, if we was in trouble, you just tell her. We wasn't in trouble much though, because we didn't want to be in trouble. Mm-mm. Who want to be in trouble? We liked our life. We had good lives. Quiet in my room right here. I ain't gonna do nothing, child. You see, they like, you see how it's thick and then it gets thin right there. So I'm putting work that I do. So what I do is, let me go into that. I am an emotional wellness practitioner. So what does that mean? Let me tell you how I started off. I started off in the church, very religious, a fun family. You know what I mean? Like we had definitely, it was a part of the family. Every once in a while with some of the people from the church. A child that always believed in the stars and the zodiac. And I remember my first introduction, a child that always believed in the stars. And I remember loving to sit and be introduced and reading those with, they would say that. They would talk about every other culture, every other religion was wrong, every other religion was demonic, every other this person's dead that lives. And so, I definitely grew up in that kind of upbringing. But like I said, I eventually just not quite ready for it. But most of my 20s, I was sick. I had and so I was really youth ministries. And I'm volunteering a lot of my 20s, really depressed. I literally went through, and even anybody that watches this play, and even anybody that watches this playback, it's gonna be God is in charge of everything, and God already knows everything. It's gonna be God is in charge of everything, and God already knows everything, and God had the ability to stop it. That it is His fault. Just like mice in a maze. And so for me, if this is for me or not for me, I will do that. But I won't sit in fear anymore, and I won't be tapped into different belief systems. The more I realize that in my when I got to that point, I understand what you're saying. I really wish I could though. And then when I go off, it takes the comments away. I mean, I can't understand the comment. I can't read and go back and do the comments. So I apologize. Figure out what you're saying. But I thank you for being here. I do. I really am grateful that you tuned in. And so for me, when I learned about energy, it stopped being about religion at all to me. And so currently, I personally don't believe in a God. I believe that we are all God and that we all exist. And everything it told me not to do was everything that I felt called and led to do. So religion wasn't right. I can never be happy. I take that back because there are some people that like jail because they've been in chaos forever. In my life, thing I do, but in myself, I love who I am. I love every piece of who I am. I'm so happy with who I am. I'm proud of who I am. Every day I wake up, love, crying. That's how I love who I am and how who I am gets the experience. Ooh, I don't want to have to do the journey again. But if I had to do it over again, I would. But I'm glad I don't have to because it was rough. The emotion. I mean, I know what shame feels like, right? I know what it can feel like. But that's an emotion. That's emotion. And it's not real. I got somewhere I'm trying to be. I got something she's on the other side of people disowning me. She's on the other side of that. And I've been quantum jumping since I was a child. And I teach people today how to quantum jump. And the thing is that most likely when you start working with me, you've already been quantum jumping. You just don't know how you've done it. And you don't, and I'm just going to teach you the basics so you can know how you were doing, having people still linked to me that were still linked to that version of me, having people still linked to me that were still linked to that version of me. Because I was ready to move, right? And that's part of quantum jumping. But in December, I found the credentials to get back into that Facebook page. It took me forever too, because when I say I let that page go, I let it go from preacher extraordinaire. I was her hairstylist. One of her singing in the choir. You saw me singing it and trust it. I was like, you can trust it, baby. I'm gone. Like I am out. People have seen me jump in a short amount of time. It hasn't even been 10 years. It has not been 10 years. I think I was on this one. I jumped. And people that were it has to be a new version of yourself, because the old version of yourself cannot sustain the new timeline. The old version of yourself, if it could, but it can't, it just can't, it just can't. Timeline. That's why so many times people, what do you do for a living? I'm kind of explaining. Set up the lifestyle. If that's not what you want, then you don't come. Then you don't come to me, right? You don't come to me if you don't want to count to me, right? You don't come to me if you don't want accountability. Because one thing I'm interested in doing that anymore. I used to do that, help people start businesses. Totally not into that anymore. Businesses. Totally not into that anymore. I want to help people start timelines. I want to help people. I work with people and they say, I keep having this over and over again. This isn't my first time. I keep going through this over you to your ego. I keep having this over and over again. This isn't my first time. I keep going through this over you to your ego to do. It is easy to do, but it's not easy to have people supporting you as you are trying to change a timeline, because a new timeline is going to need new people. It's going to need new support. It's going to need new everything. It's not. It's just not the old timeline. It's just not. You can't take. It's impossible to take the same you into the old time to the new timeline. You can't do it. Or to take the same you into the old time to the new timeline. You can't do it. And yeah, fuck. Well, here's the good part. Well, here's the good part. I didn't start sticking myself to the very end. Your hands get raw, so it's really my fault. I ain't saying it's not, but I take it. I take the lump on the chin. It's my fault. It's my fault. But I got this one piece. I got this one piece. I feel like this one keeps. Let's just put it on this one because it just feels a little weak right in here. And then this will be the last one. And then I'm going to let y'all go. And y'all can go have a good rest of your Saturday. And I appreciate everybody for joining in. And I hope that you like, share my account. Share these videos with people. Go look at some of the other videos I tried to teach online. And it's not a shame or embarrassment. It's more of there are so many people teaching about the right way to do things. I'm just more interested in showing you guys my life. And you get to see, not just me sitting up here telling you what to do, but you get to see me do. And it'll be up to you to say, I like this frequency. I like this vibration. I like this. I want to pay attention to her, right? And then you can ask me. Jesus ain't one of them. Jesus was very, Jesus ain't one of them. Jesus was very, tons of healing. Tons of healing, right? If anything, or Jesus, not Christ. I think Christ is a consciousness. But what if you sick? That's probably the deity you want to fuck with. That is allowing, and that worked for me, and that worked for me. Yeah, I love animals. Yeah, I love animals. Him mad. They probably put. Come over here. But I hope him not hurt. But I hope him not hurt. He didn't like. He didn't like to be outside. All right. We're gonna just do one today. So it took me at least an hour to wash my hair and get it mended. An hour to wash my hair and get it mended. Get some of the pieces mended. Twisted is I'm doing a I do not want my hair to grow together in a big hunk. Okay. I was trying not to do that because I wanted to keep the baggy intact so that it could hold the pieces. But listen, I was looking for a measuring tape the other day. It's one right. You guys in a little bit because I'm at 4% on my battery. But we're gonna talk until it goes. Your girl can thread a needle, baby. I remember when my mom would sew all the time. She would hand me the needles. I was good. They are jamming out here. Okay, now where do we want to put? It's a knife, a little sword. Where do we want to put it? Look how clean she is. No, I got another one I want to put over there. Let's put it here. What you guys care on this one? Mm-hmm. 3% is going down. Meet me at the club. Don't meet me at the club. Y'all have lived here in Puerto Vallarta for 3 years. Classmates is here from my. We went to middle school together. I'm not. Do I like that? How that's in there? And it's a rooftop party tomorrow. It's another uh brown girl that lives down here. And it's so funny because my friend and I were both kind of socially awkward. So she was like, "Oh, so glad we can do this together." I was like, "Yes, be weirdos together." Okay, I love it. Now let's figure out how to stop it. And then we're just gonna keep an eye on it. I wish I would have brought back some hair thread because I know over time this could get a little weak. But like I said, we'll see what it does. What y'all think? Yay. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go because I'm at 1%. But I love myself. I love you. Thank you guys for coming and see you next time.